I'm going to say it. It might be a little controversial, but I'm going to say it. I don't think buying a house is all it's cracked up to be. I don't. I said it. There is so much pressure to settle down to buy a house, especially when you have children. And I just want to say it's not that easy for everybody. I think it's easier to settle down and find and like stay put when you have family, or like you're super close with your family, like you have a hometown. Does that make sense? I'm so thankful for our house and so thankful that our kids have so much land to just run free. However, we know we won't be here forever. So, I know, I thought this was gonna be forever. We thought so too. But we live in an area where the schools are horrible, bad. I will never send my kids to school here. So if I ever want to put our kids in school, we have to move somewhere else where the schools are better. Living in the woods is great, but it is hard being a mother, and I will say I miss the community. I miss walking around. I miss the community pool, the community park. So in 5 years or whatever, I hope that we can find something that makes Tyler and I both happy. And I'm not really sure I want to buy another house for a very long time. So I'd rather rent. And I know people say owning a house is cheaper. Not right now. Rent would be way cheaper than a mortgage. At least for us. We also can't just call up a landlord and be like, hey, this is going wrong, please fix it. No, we have to call a company and be like, hey, this is going wrong, and then we have to pay them money, lots of money. So that's just my 2 cents on buying a house. And I don't like feeling stuck, and buying a house makes me feel stuck. So don't ever feel bad for renting and just being in a rental, because honestly, I miss it.
Transparency post. I regret buying a house. I regret it a lot. If I could go back to January 2022, I would tell that girl, do not. Just find another apartment to move into, because doing all this shit that I have to do for this house and all the unexpected costs, high dollar unexpected costs that I keep running into, to be handling it by myself, is ass. So to all you young women who want to go out and buy a home, I encourage you to really think about it. Talk to some people and really see the ins and outs. I mean, it always sounds good. Oh yeah, your mortgage is only going to be $1,000 until they reevaluate your property taxes, and that bitch goes up $200. You know, it's trash. 85 degrees, your AC is going to go out. You don't want to know how much that costs. It's trash.
Guys, when we bought this house, I don't think we realized how much financial undertaking it would take. Okay, so in 2021, I think when our child was 6 months or so, we made the decision that we now want to move out of our 2-bedroom rental. We were staying in a very affluent area. It was nice. It was very convenient. It was central to everywhere we frequent. But the issue with the property is that it didn't have like a secure garden or like privacy, because the gardens weren't like sectioned off, so anybody could like look into your bedroom window, honestly. And also we shared the same property with a hotel, right? So anybody could really come in. We didn't really have that much of security issues. I mean, I think there was only one incident, but other than that, it was also like just becoming too small, because now this babies are crawling, she can do stuff, and you've got nannies, you've got people coming into the house and all that stuff, whatever. So then we decide, okay, fine, we want to move out of the space. And I don't know why our decision was to buy a house. Fine. We find the home that we now live in. We agree on a price, and yeah, things go on very smoothly. And our house was the last house, because I remember when we were viewing homes, where we bought our house, it was sold out. And then they contacted us like a week later, and they were like, hey, listen, there's someone's bond, whatever, that fell through. There's an opening, but first grab gets it, So come view and then decide. Firstly, we viewed the house on a screen because the house that they used to view was then sold. Okay, anyway, that's a story for another day. And I think because we really wanted to make this move and we're excited about this move, we didn't really consider a lot of things. So anyway, we buy the house off a plan, basically, off a plan and off of, what are those things called? Renders, yeah. Of renders. That's what we get our house.
In a previous video, I talked about my biggest financial accomplishment, but now I'm going to talk about my biggest financial regret. In 2018, I purchased a condo off the DBP for like $316,000. Wasn't looking to buy a condo. I didn't plan on moving out. I had no intentions of purchasing a condo. I just happened to get a good deal and walked out with the purchase of a condo. I didn't even know this was a thing, but my deposit structure was not a regular deposit structure. We have to do like 5% on signing, 5% like 30 days later, 5% like whenever it was. Mind you, at this time, I was working at McDonald's still. So I was still making $9.60, maybe even $10 an hour, but like it was a low amount. I got this written in my contract. So my deposit structure was I had to pay $1,000 every month for the next 3 years to make up my deposit for the condo, and whatever I didn't make would just roll over into the mortgage. I had a mortgage pre-approval. I had to go through all that, and then I had to write checks, like 36 checks for the $1,000 every month, and then that was my deposit, and I paid for the 3 years to get my deposit structure. The reason why it's my biggest financial regret is because I let other people get into my head about like the purchase, what was going on with the building and everything, and ended up giving up the condo. And it was supposed to be built, I think the occupancy was supposed to be maybe around 2021 or something. So like I went in, I picked like the cupboards, I picked like the furnishings, like the finishings that I wanted for the condo. So I went through all that process, but when it came to like occupancy date and like when they were supposed to start building and all that stuff, everything kept getting pushed, everything kept getting moved. Nothing was according to the schedule that they provided. I was talking to like some older people about it regarding like home purchases. They made comments about how some builders didn't finish building and they ran off with people's money, like this, that, and like they're putting doubts in my head. Then COVID came. And there were more delays, and I'm just like, I don't think they're gonna finish building this condo. I really think that they're about to run off with my money. During COVID, I think this was 2021 now, they gave us an out where they're just like, you know what, we will give you back your deposit plus interest for whatever it was for how long, and you can pull out the condo. I pulled out. Biggest financial regret, because where are you buying a condo for $316,000 these days? And it was unit 1608. I know, like, precise. But I still talk about it to this day. I'm so mad that I gave it up. I feel like I should have pushed through, but I genuinely thought that they were going to run off with my money and they weren't going to build it.
I'm going to keep it 100%. Home ownership is not what I expected it to be. Honestly, if I had my time back, I would never in a million years have bought a condo. I regret it so much. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. Renting, you have that like stress-free, no worry in the world. If something in my condo breaks, it's my responsibility to fix that issue. If I'm renting, I just call up my property manager, landlord, whoever, and just say, hey, this is broken, this appliance isn't working. It's their responsibility to send somebody in and fix that ASAP. When you're a homeowner, you're the one that has to do the research on finding someone to come in. You're the one that has to take the time and make sure everything's working smoothly. It's such a headache. I'll give you an example. Today, I had the unit below my condo say that they have a leak in their washroom. It's my responsibility to call a plumber, contact the property manager, and make sure it's fixed. And when you're a renter, that's not my problem. Like, my landlord will fix that problem. I'm paying rent, and that's a wrap. That's where my responsibility finishes. If I could turn back time, I would never have bought. I would have just stayed a renter. And honestly, the extra money that I would have had, I don't have to pay property taxes, I don't have to pay for repairs. Extra money, I would have poured it into investments. And future me would have been a lot better off. Just something to keep in mind. Home ownership the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Just a fruit for thought. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Can we talk about the Black homeownership rate right now being the lowest in this country, and the fact that I'm seeing Black creators post content stating they regret buying a home and it was the biggest mistake of their lives? First of all, my name is Jessica Rogers. I'm a licensed realtor serving the state of South Carolina. Now, what has brought me to do this video is the fact that over the past week or so, I have seen content creators that look like myself, brown skin, African American content creators, talking about how they regret buying their home. Okay, some bought in 2022, some bought in 2021, some bought in 2023, and they're hopping on TikTok stating, I regret buying a home. It was the biggest mistake I ever made. For various reasons. The mortgage payment increase, due to taxes and insurance, or because, maintenance, they're having to repair things, which all goes into being a homeowner. We know that, right? But this is my problem. I'm trying to figure out why y'all hopping on the app and talking about it. Because once you start looking at the numbers, and of course, me being in the profession, I see what's really going on. Let's talk about the rates real quick, okay? Let's talk about the actual home ownership rates. Let's break this down. According to the Census Bureau 2023 data, the home ownership rate, we're going in order. Non-Hispanic white, 73.8%. Asian Americans, 63%. Hispanic Americans, 49.8%. Black Americans, 45.9%. The numbers don't lie, y'all. We got the lowest home ownership rate in this country. African Americans have the lowest home ownership rate in this country. Asian Americans have surpassed us. Hispanic Americans have surpassed us. Let's take it all the way back. Compared to 10 years ago, the Black American home ownership rate has only increased by 2.7%. Let's talk about who bought houses last year. According to the National Association of Realtors, the people who bought houses last year, 81% were white and only 7% were black. That is why I get really, really, really upset when I see black creators hop on this app to discourage other black people from buying a house. We all know historically home values have increased, okay? Historically, period. Home ownership is still the #1 wealth building tool in this country. You can say what you want to say. Real estate is where it is at. Look on Wall Street. They're buying up property to then rent it out to you. I'm in this business. I see how hard it is for people to purchase a home. People who would not have had a problem purchasing a home 5 years ago. People are getting these pre-approvals, and you're pre-approved for $150,000. You're pre-approved for $130,000, and it's basically like finding a needle in a haystack, because it's like, what is there to buy for $150,000 that's move-in, that's livable, that you're not going to have to completely gut out and remodel? It's hard for so many people. And I know a lot of realtors talk about, I'm a luxury realtor, whatever. Yeah, there are some amazing realtors out here selling and serving at these very high price points, these $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $400,000 houses. And these people who are buying these houses, they're not worried about, their credit. They're not worried about getting approved for financing. They have the money for the down payment. They could care less about down payment assistance. But I'm a realtor who's actually out here. My whole goal 3 years ago when I became a realtor, almost 4, was to help those people who thought homeownership would never be possible for them. Okay? And some of those people have credit challenges. Educating them on what it's going to take, what credit score you need to buy a house, educating them on the type of home loans, educating them on down payment assistance, finding grants and down payment assistance that is available for these buyers. And then they make all these steps and do what they're supposed to do. And we get the pre-approval, and the pre-approval is $150,000, $130,000. And these are hardworking, everyday Americans who are basically priced out of the market. So here I am trying to find off-market deals, trying to put something together with my lending partners to really help these people get in the house. These people who really, really, really want to become homeowners. And then I hop on this app and I see black creators saying, you know what, I regret it. But then if you go and read the comment section, people are telling them, why don't you just sell it? Sell it. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to tell you how much equity they have. If you bought your house in 2021 and 2022, you got some equity. They're not going to talk about how much equity they have. They could sell it and probably walk away from the closing table with a nice little check. But you read the comments that say, well, I'm trying to become a landlord. Of course you are. That's the whole point. We've all played Monopoly. The whole point is to buy up property. But that's what I want y'all to do tonight. I want you to go home with your family, get some friends together, and I want you to pull out that good old-fashioned game Monopoly. And I want you to play it. For all my people out here who are renting and you are listening to these creators and you're becoming discouraged, and it's real because I had a buyer that I was working with who listened to a creator talk about how her taxes increased drastically and how her mortgage payment increased drastically. I'm so scared. And here I am as a realtor talking you off the cliff because I understand right now you're paying $1,500 in rent for a 2-bedroom apartment when you could be paying a mortgage. It's as simple as that. You can own something. You could be creating equity, okay? Pull out Monopoly and play that game tonight. Play that game of Monopoly tonight and you tell me what's hot. Are you going to be sitting back, not buying up anything? Just paying rent. You just want to pay rent. Okay. Get out the app and get in the field. Do what you got to do to get into a house. Do what you got to do because home prices are up and they're stuck. We see what's going on with interest rates. You better get with a realtor and a lender that can get really, really creative. Okay? Seller concessions. Builders are offering some amazing new construction deals and incentives. You better get out here in this field. Own or be owned. It's time. Get off the fence. Stop listening to these creators.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice for first-time home buyers, and one of my regrets, so learn from my mistakes, is to slow down. Most of my first-time home buyers, myself included, are buying fixer-uppers, right? Like, it's where we live is super expensive. Most of them need a little bit of work. And you want it done so fast. Sit on it for a little while. See what works in the house. See what floors you like. Figure out your style. Make a Pinterest board. I immediately got a new privacy fence. Ordered a custom back door, like new carpet. Honestly, looking back, I spent way too much money. And then I would make more money and I would still spend it because I wanted to get the house done, and it's still not done. And also, I didn't know my style and what I wanted. So now looking back, I would honestly change a lot of what I did. Even if you have it, don't spend all your money, please. That is one of my biggest regrets, and it doesn't happen overnight. Making a house a home takes time, and I mean, here I am 3 years later, still renovating, obviously. So it's just chill out a little bit. Just chill, feel the house, figure out what you like, save up a little bit of money, and just know that you're gonna get there eventually, but making a house a home does take time.
I think I fully regret buying a house now. It's not the worst choice I ever made, but it's so expensive. But at the same time, it's exactly what rent would be costing me anyways. I'm almost an hour away from where I want to be and almost an hour away from work. It's a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance. I feel like the housing market could crash at any minute, and interest rates were high when I bought it, and so were prices. I rationalized it by telling myself, well, it's the same amount as rent, and I should get something back out of it at the end of the day. Which honestly, at this point, might not even be true. And I'm far away from everything, and I have an hour-long commute, and I'm tired, and I'm in a 3-bedroom house, and I live alone. I'm very thankful that I'm able to do this. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if it was the right choice, and I'm stressing over it right now. I've only been here for 8 months. I don't know what to do.